to be led by Terry Jones from the Greater Columbus Tennis Association. And not only has their CTA been around for a long time, they were just awarded the National CTA of the Year Award. So we have a great resource on our hands. And Terry, before we get started, I'm just going to have everyone go around and introduce themselves really quick.
Okay. Hi, my name is Patty Wiley. I'm in Michigan.
I'm Kathy Shaw. I'm in Indianapolis.
Chip Fazio, Michigan.
This is George Lowe, the Michigan Tennis Service Representative.
Jackie Geyer, Indiana.
Okay, I think that is it. So Terry, feel free to go ahead and get started.
Okay, first, good evening, everybody. Lindsay, I have a lot of feedback on my end. Do I have it on everybody else's end?
I am not here. I'm not hearing anything. I had to mute the sound on my computer to get the feedback to stop that I was hearing initially. So that might be our phones and computers fighting.
Okay. All right, first I'd like to thank Lindsay and Chip for asking me to showcase the Greater Columbus Tennis Association and why we've been around so long over the last 60 years. So Lindsay, if you want to forward.
Well, maybe. There we go.
There we go. Okay, so some 6 decades ago, we had a group of tennis advocates here in Columbus who had a vision for our tennis community. We started with approximately about 100 participants in our men's and women's league, and we've grown to about 3,000 adults participating in our summer leagues. And I put this slide in here because your founding fathers could be you with a little mirror image, meaning you might be the visionary in your community. We do follow a 6-page constitution, and I just listed a few highlights. We do have a board of trustees that ranges between 15 and 33 members. Our board terms are 3 years in length and are renewable as long as the member meets the criteria of attending at least 2 meetings per year. We host 4 quarterly board meetings, and we do ask that our board of trustees volunteers or chairs one of the following committees, either our budget, our award, our nominating, or our special interest committee. And this photo represents about half of our board. We consist of high school coaches, university and college coaches, head umpires, doctors, attorneys, parents with children of special needs. You could read all the different occupations that we have. And as you might imagine, our nominating committee does an excellent job of seeking out potential board needs. I'm sorry, the feedback is making me talk funny. Okay, Lindsay, you can skip that slide.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Okay, we have close to 2,000 women participating in our summer all doubles league. We also have a separate women and board member, a separate women and men's board that meets at the end of each season, and they tweak any rules or anything that needs changed for the following year. We did make a change over the years. In 1998, we expanded to include career women by adding evening league. Now I know why people can't sing in a microphone at large, baseball games and such, because the feedback is terrible. Okay.
Terry, did you try muting your computer?
I did. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. I'm repeating myself because I can't not hear myself.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out a way to find a solution for you while we're on this thing. I'm looking into it.
It sounds fine to me.
Here, do you want to go on to the next slide? Oh, Terry, are you there? Oh, Terry, it looks like you muted yourself. Now I can, yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. So we're to the men's slide.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. We have approximately 1,000 men participating in our all doubles league. Both men's and women's leagues are $12 per year per person. And like I mentioned, we have 2,000 women and 1,000 men, so our income is about $36,000 annually. Our CTA offers 3 free winter kickoff parties every winter. These round robins are sold out every year, and we supply the courts, the munchies, balls, and lots of tennis and fun. And the men are a little more competitive and a little less social, so they choose to host an end-of-the-season tournament instead of a kickoff party. But their dues also support this free event. The Ohio Valley Tennis Association hosts a junior tournament in mid-June, and these kids are selected by our paid coaches to represent Columbus. And the OVTA pays for all travel and accommodations. The past 2 years, our team has traveled to Parkersburg, West Virginia, and for the last 5 years, they've brought home the championship trophy. These ladies will be representing Columbus at the national tournament this year. Instead of league awards, the players decide that they rather have us pay for their district entry fees, so that helps them in their traveling expenses. Tennis link fees that are generated from summer USTA leagues allow us to pay for a league coordinator as well. We have built strong relationship with the Columbus Recreation and Parks Department. The GCTA supports their programs by granting them $14,500 annually. We've added 10 and under blended lines on all 44 of their public courts. And as you can see in the last sentence there, our CTA received some acknowledgement in the local newspaper, so that's always good for us. We sponsor the Junior Area Qualifier, which sends the top girls and boys in our area to the Midwest Close Tournament. We are also the district site for the Girls 16 tournament in June. And every spring, we hold an umpire training clinic. One of the local clubs donates the court time, and we provide lunch to the attendees. We have as many as 15 to 20 new officials every year, and most travel from surrounding states and receive their certification. And since 2011, we've reached over 230 phys ed teachers who have agreed to add tennis to their curriculum. In turn, we donated equipment and trained every teacher. This slide features the 87 teachers that were crammed into one room on their in-service day. And this equates to about 100,000 children being reached in those 230 schools. And every fall, we recognize people in our community who go above and beyond giving back to the sport of tennis. Our award categories are anywhere from promotion of tennis to special recognition. We have a junior male and female player of the year, family of the year, Media Award, and Columbus Rec and Parks tennis instructor. And we've especially built an incredible relationship with our Midwest section staff, and our TSR, Jim Emick, has certainly taken our CTA to the next level, so we appreciate all his support. And I know that, I heard George was on the call, and I know that we have the best TSRs in the country, so I encourage you to use those resources. And we've made great strides with our local media, and we were featured on Good Day Columbus with several paid segments. Unfortunately, we were preempted by the Ohio State University president's forced resignation, but we were called back for more tennis in the studio a few months later. Play days have become a significant part of our programming, and we had 44 kids on our first try, so that was real exciting. We've also added this past year a 10 and under winter circuit, and it's a roaming tournament that utilizes our indoor courts to promote play days and red and orange ball tournaments. This past year was our first year at the Arnold Sports Festival. This event boasts attendance near 200,000 people in one weekend, and we had over 100 volunteers help us with this incredible event. And this coming year, they've asked us to triple our presence, so we will be doing that and are excited about that. We are so proud to know these three young men. From the left, they are our 2009, 2010, and 2008 Junior Male Players of the Year. Obviously, they play for the Ohio State University, and they've helped the men's tennis team win 148 consecutive home matches, which is the longest home winning streak in Division I sports history. And their coach, Ty Tucker, has served on our board of trustees in the past. And this, again, just represents building strong relationships within our community. Our CTA provides funding for Buddy Up Tennis, which focuses on tennis, fitness, and fun for children and adults with Down syndrome. The founder of Buddy Up, Beth Gibson, serves on our board, and she's expanded this program in 8 locations in 4 states. And this organization is one of several of our grant recipients. And this is just another group that received a grant from us. It's a local middle school. They were able to host a summer camp for their team this past summer. We have a very simple grant application that's easily accessible on our website. We have 9 youth team tennis markets, reaching over 800 children in 6 weeks. And this is one of my favorite events that we participate in. These kids are ages 5 to 14, and this is called the After School All-Stars Lift It Challenge. It's a summer event that teaches kids to take charge of their own health, and we reach approximately 1,200 at-risk kids at this one-day event. And these juniors will be representing Columbus. Here we go again. Excuse me. These juniors will be representing Columbus this weekend at the National 14 competition. Our CTA is a strong supporter of the junior team tennis program. We've had a paid JTT league coordinator, which is made possible through the tennis league team. And if you look real close, they have a team mascot. It's an iguana there on the court, and he travels with the team for good luck.
I wondered what that was.
We are very active in promoting school assemblies in the spring as a kickoff to our youth team tennis programs, and we start this process in early January. And this is Fletcher Fox, and he is excited about youth team tennis as his coaches are, and the right coaches and volunteers make all the difference. there are a few key reasons why we've been around for so long. The first one is our strong volunteer base. Part of our mission is to promote quality programs, and when we run quality programs, people want to get involved and stay involved. The other key to our sustainability is the strong relationships that we build with club pros, our indoor clubs, recs and parks, media outlets, and colleges and universities. All these groups display a genuine interest in our organization's goals and are very loyal to our CTA. And again, I apologize that I can't talk when I'm talking to myself.
Terry, you sound fantastic, and I'm sorry that you are having difficulties with this, but we can't hear anything from our end. I appreciate you doing this. We can go ahead and start with any questions that anybody has for Terry now. Well, I'll start. Terry, you said one of the reasons you think that your CTA has been able to be around for so long was because you had a strong volunteer base. How did you recommend helping people find those volunteers? How do you, I know that you've been around for so long, it's probably pretty easy to come across them now, but when you guys, you know, back initially started, how did you find volunteers?
Well, we, like I mentioned, have 3,000 members that play in our league, and we have everyone's email. So we do email blasts and ask for help. And honestly, if you walk up to people and say, I need your help, you rarely get turned down. You know, we tell them what the mission is, that you're going to be working with kids, that we need kids in our grassroots programs, and they hardly ever say no, unless they have a scheduled conflict of some sort. From there, we keep a volunteer base of emails and then keep tapping into those people. Those people tell their friends and so on and so on.
And then I was intrigued too. You said one of the other reasons is that you, with your media connections, how did you start those? Did you just send press releases out, or did you have a personal contact that you took advantage of, or how did you get the media interested in telling your story?
Well, we're fortunate because we have a Good Day Columbus program, and they go around and try to find interest stories. And they've contacted us initially, and then from there we email them, we call them, we say we'll be here, please show up with your cameras. This past year, our 2014 Media Award winner was the local NBC meteorologist, and he's gotten real involved with the Buddy Up program, and he's a great resource for us. A lot of the papers that cover boys and girls tennis are real helpful.
Does anybody else
Social
have
media is
any
real helpful.
Does your operating budget come mostly
Pardon me?
from? Where does your operating budget come from? You said you have the $12 per person per year adult summer leagues.
Yes, that's where the bulk of our income comes from. We get about $36,000 from that. We also get distribution funds from the Ohio Valley District. That's generated from USTA membership, Tennis Link money that comes back to us. That's where we get ours. I know some CTAs, one CTA wrote a book and published a book and sold the book for, that was their operating fund.
So are your summer leagues like USTA leagues? Like, you know, can they go to districts and sections, or is it kind of like your own thing?
I didn't hear your question, Jeff, I'm sorry.
Are your adult summer leagues, is that like a USTA league where there's, you know, districts and states and sectionals, or is it like your own sort of intramural league?
They don't go anywhere. They just stay here locally. So we have a league champion, and they are recognized at the award ceremony, both the men and the women, but they don't move on to any district competition. We also have summer leagues that are USTA leagues, and those folks move on to district and so on competition.
So you have two different sets of leagues that you run. One is a USTA league, and then one is a separate league that's more local focused?
That's exactly right. In our USTA league, just for the summer, focuses more on the special leagues, like combos, seniors, mixed, and not necessarily like the 18 and over and the 40 and over. Those are more of our early start, which is our fall league, and our winter league.
So how did you build up to 3,000 adults in your summer league? That's huge.
Remember, we started with 100.
And when was that? When did you have 100?
Back in the 50s.
Oh, okay. That's really impressive.
Terry, Greater Columbus, obviously in the name, covers Greater Columbus. Are there other smaller CTAs in the Columbus area, or do you pretty much have the market as far as, I just know, Columbus is clearly a lot bigger than Grosse Pointe, so getting 30,000 members would be easier for you than them. So I didn't know if there were other smaller CTAs around the area too.
There are smaller CTAs, but what they pretty much do is piggyback off of, and then we supply them with our insurance, so they can run programs, and it's less expensive for them to run.
Interesting.
Let me think how I want to say this. Columbus is different in the fact that our CTA is not really affiliated with any indoor club. We have 8 indoor clubs, and we've partnered with all of those 8 indoor clubs to recognize us as like the governing body here in Columbus.
And through those partnerships with the indoor clubs, do those clubs then allow you more access to market to their members, use their facilities, things of that nature, in hopes that in turn they will get more people through you as well?
That's a great question. What we do with our youth team tennis market is at the end of the youth team tennis market, we recommend the indoor clubs for the fall and winter programming. And so we partner with them that way. It has been hard in the beginning for them to recognize that we are just promoting tennis, and we don't want to steal their kids and take them to another club. So that was kind of a hurdle when we got started. But now that they understand that Saturday night we're coming to the club to run an orange ball tournament, their kids are welcome to come, there will be other kids from other clubs, and they don't have to be there. So it's been a win-win for all of us.
How were you able to get them to understand that? Did you just keep communicating with them and answering their questions and building a good relationship?
Exactly, and actually a face-to-face meeting was the key. The person that runs our winter circuit is not affiliated with any of the clubs, so that really helped. Initially, we had a pro that was affiliated with one club, and people felt threatened over that, so we made that change. And now it's just a tennis mom running these tournaments.
And Terry, do you have any paid staff?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any paid staff, or is everyone volunteers?
Well, I'm the executive director, and they made that change in 2009, so that is a paid position. We do have a junior team tennis coordinator that's paid, and that's through the tennis link fees. We have an adult summer USTA league coordinator, and that's through tennis link fees. We have the Ohio Valley Cup coaches, and we just pay them a flat rate to take them down to the tournament over the weekend. Those are really the only paid positions.
Are you able to maintain some outdoor courts in your area?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Do you have outdoor courts also for the summer?
We use university courts that we end up usually paying a court fee. They lower it so it's not so harsh on our budget. If they feel that we're using the courts for our community, they're more likely to help us out on the court fees. But no, we don't have any courts. We have to go out and ask for them, pay for them, whatever we have to do to run our program.
So
Are some of them in need? Are some of them public parks and rec courts?
Yes, some of them are.
And they're maintained pretty well?
Actually, they are. There's a couple courts around the city that aren't in great shape, and they're in obviously not very great neighborhoods. But for the most part, they resurface them every couple years, and we're real fortunate.
Terry, do you have to work with the city to keep them focused on keeping the courts in good shape, or is that something that they have the initiative to do on their own?
They do that on their own, but they also realize the number of people that take advantage of their programming through our support. They know that tennis is a great venue for kids and adults.
Your summer league, those people play on public courts?
Some do. Some are country clubs. Some play out high school courts.
So they can just like play wherever they want? Is that like they set up their own time?
They do. When you turn in a team, you have to list your home court site. Now, if you don't have one, you can request all away matches. And as long as everybody doesn't do that, obviously, that'll work.
So do you ever have problems with like a public court saying, you know, you're charging people money and using our courts?
Well, as long as they turn in a team and pay their $12 per person, we're pretty much out of it.
So
They might have to work out something with, the public courts or wherever they may be playing out of, but that's between them and the team. We're not involved in that.
Well, I mean, I could just say my home courts are, you know, my local public park, and
Yeah, but you have to have clearance to be able to play there.
okay. Okay.
So Terry, it really seems like one of the other reasons that Greater Columbus is so successful is that they really partnership with everyone. They work with schools, with Parks and Rec, with clubs. They do everything kind of. How do you recommend for other groups that are just starting that clearly can't go from having one community partnership to 7 community partnerships overnight? What would you think are some of the better groups to move forward with first in terms of being able to help grow tennis in the area?
Well, schools has kind of been my baby because we can reach the most people through the schools. From there, we kind of branched out to the Columbus Rec and Park because we explained to them if we put blended lines on all their courts, their children could walk from schools to the courts and continue to play for the rest of their life. So we started in the schools.
Yeah, I second that. I do as many demos and PE classes as I can, and it's, PE teachers are usually happy to have you, and the kids have a blast, and it really drives participation in the programs if I can get into schools.
Yeah, we've been reaching out to the schools for about 3.5 years, so it takes time, but if you can get to the right person and get into the school, the rest is pretty much cake.
Yep, yeah, some school districts are weird, and it's like I'm still trying to get in, and some are cool, I've had no problem getting in, so it's just, and some of them it just takes patience and, finding the right person, you know.
Are you able to give scholarships for lessons or equipment or going to tournaments or any of that?
You know, that's one thing that we don't do. When people apply for the grant, it has to be for a program and not for an individual. Now, what we do is at our quarterly meeting, if we have an athlete that needs funding for something, we'll bring it up. And if they meaning our Board of Trustees members, want to personally donate to that cause, they can. But we have a pay-to-play here, and I think we would be bombarded if we accepted those kind of grant applications.
What kinds of grants are available? What kinds of grants are available to kids?
Well, we don't offer individual grants. So if the child wants to start an organization that would be a whole bunch of kids, then that would be a different story. But we don't do individual grants.
The USTA Midwest does offer individual grants through the diversity program, I believe, has an individual grant, as well as our foundation has individual grants too. And then a lot of districts offer grants too. So while it might not always be an option for a CTA to be able to do scholarships or grants for individuals, and for some of them it absolutely is, and they can, but it's always worth looking into your district and the section as well. Is there any other questions for Terry?
Is anything in a written form that could be sent to us as an email so I could pass it along to our CTA members?
Sure. I have a brochure with lists all our programs. I can email you our Constitution if that would help. We have a board handbook if that would help.
That would be.
I'd like to see all that.
Yes.
You know what, Terry, if you send all of that to me,
okay,
I will get that sent out. Chip, I know that you asked for it, and then I'm sorry, who was the other person that asked for it?
Myself. This is Jacqueline.
I'm sorry.
Jacqueline Geyer at South Bend Community Tennis.
Perfect. I will get that sent out to everybody.
You want my email or you have one?
If you want to give it to me now, that'd be great. Otherwise, I am sure that I can track it down when I get to the office tomorrow.
Mine is the name Jacqueline with 10 letters, JACQUELINE dot GUYER
Okay.
at gmail.com.
That's easy enough. And Chip, I'll send that to you as well. Is there anybody else on the call that would like that information?
Yes, I would like it. This is Pat Wiley. And my email address is informyourself, the number 2, at Comcast.net.
Okay.
And this is Kathy Shaw. I'd like it also.
Okay, Kathy, I have yours.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, everyone,
I'd like to ask about the Board of Trustees. Is there a rotating leadership that serves for a certain number of months or something like a year, and then that person is replaced with another person?
well, our president's position is a 2 or 4 year term, whatever they agree to. Our vice president is ongoing and will eventually move into the president's position. And then our secretary and treasurer are ongoing until they resign or we remove them.
Okay.
And then our between 15 and 33 board of trustees have a 3-year term, and they're just required to attend at least 2 of the 4 quarterly board meetings. And if they don't, then they can be removed.
And Terry, what do you discuss at those quarterly board meetings? And are they in person or via phone?
They are in person. I can send out an agenda if you want me to include that. We just go down the row. We have USTA leagues, we have junior team tennis updates, we have men's leagues, women's leagues.
You just kind of run through all of your programs and the updates that people have on them? Okay.
I can just send you an agenda so you can kind of see.
Thank you very much for all of this.
You're welcome. And again, I don't normally stumble over my, and I just did it again. I don't stumble over my words, but I'm talking over myself. It's really difficult.
It worked for us. It wasn't apparent to us. And congratulations on doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Terry, are you going to Atlanta, the TDW?
Yes, I am. Are you?
Yes, I am. So
awesome.
Stay in touch. I'll see you there.
Good.
Well, everyone, I'll be there.
Oh, good.
Cool.
I'll be there.
Good.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for being on the call. Terry, thank you again for leading. Once again, I do apologize for the difficulties that you have with the sound, and I hope that nobody else had to deal with that. I am sorry. We are recording this webinar, so it was the first time that we've tried doing it this way. So hopefully we can work through some of these issues. And if everyone stays tuned to their email, we'll be coming up with our 2015 webinars at the annual meeting, and we will be continuing this. Also, if anyone has any suggestions, feel free to send them to me.
Okay.
And I think that that's everything. So have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.